This one is kind of long. The black bean soup incident. I went to a small engineering college and there were only like 9 girls in my program, one of which was very hot and very cool. I was neither, but can be funny, and I use that to my advantage. Over the course of 6 months, I slowly woo her to the point where I am fairly confident she will say yes upon asking her out. A few more weeks go by and I finally ask her out and she accepts. I am completely smitten with this girl. I pick her up at her sorority house, which is an awkward deal if you have never done it before, because a dozen girls answer the door to check you out. I take her to the best restaurant I can find, and so far everything is going great. I order a bowl of the soup of the day and an entree. She orders something inconsequential to the story. As you can guess, the soup du jour was a black bean soup. The waiter is much more attractive than me, in his late 20s, who is obviously scoping my date and subtly flirting with her, so my machismo is activated. So much so that when the waiter suggests I order the cup of soup versus the bowl, as their bowls are very large, I take it as a shot across the bow of my fragile masculinity and insist that I can handle the bowl.
Of course.
The bowl's delivered and it's more of a torrent. You easily could have fed a family of 4 with the leftovers, but now my dumbass has to not only finish it, but to do so acting like it's normal to eat a gallon of soup as I made a big deal of it. I eat the soup and I'm already Thanksgiving stuffed when they bring out my entree, which I obviously have to eat as well, or admit to the handsome waiter and my date that I'm an idiot with such a fragile ego that I can't take an obvious suggestion. Despite my obvious physical discomfort, my date cannot seem to tell that I am so uncomfortable that I may explode from either end at any instant. Furthermore, as I get up to use the bathroom, my date asks if we can stop by her sorority house on the way to our movie so that she can pick up a sweater for the cold theater. Despite the obvious, I say no problem and we get up to leave. As I am walking to the car, I get what feels like a knife to my belt line, followed by a gurgling noise as 8 pounds of shit are transferred from my intestines to my colon. I'm still not worried though as we drive to her place, as it's like 5 minutes to the theater. We get to her sorority house and she asks if I need to come inside for anything. I would like to think she wanted to fool around, but I think she has now picked up on my situation, probably from my profuse sweating and silence.
Oh.
No, I'm fine. And as she heads inside to get her coat, I do God knows what else, because she's in there for what feels like an hour. Then another sharp pain, another gurgle. I now have sweat literally through my clothes as I realize I have to shit, and I have to shit now. I get up and run to the front door, which isn't helping my situation any, as I desperately scramble to fling open the front door to the sorority house. Locked, of course. It's too late. I ran around the side of the house, dropped trout, and proceed to shit my brains out, pressing my back hard against the side of the building in an attempt to keep from contaminating myself. I was not successful. Though I immediately felt physically better as I put myself back together, I realized in sheer terror that both of my shoes and lower parts of my pants have been splattered.
Oh.
I start putting together a plan of action, run to the car, run home, explain later, when as I am heading to my car, I spot my date, sitting patiently in the passenger seat. Somehow on the spot, I come up with what I thought at the time was a brilliant excuse that I also have to stop by my house to change, as I stepped in dog shit while relieving myself on the side of their sorority house. She spared me from having to explain why I could not wait to use the bathroom at the theater. I assume she was distracted by the horrible odor in the car, but more likely she knows the truth. Whatever the case, the angel did not make me elaborate on anything, and we had a great time the rest of the evening. We continued dating for 6 months or so, and now we're Facebook friends.
Okay. First of all, kudos to him for his
know.
storytelling ability.
Yes.
I was transported to the Mexican restaurant. Transported. Okay, my immediately thought with the sorority house was like, I thought about Legally Blonde.
Yes.
When they like answer the door and
Yes,
everyone's
I was
getting ready.
picturing that too.
But that is horrible.
Bad.
That is something that I feel like on dates you really do have to think about. What are you eating?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I would never order soup. The slurping.
Okay, like I said, I really don't go on dates that much, but I love soup. But yeah, why would he? I feel like it was his own fault, but he admitted that.
Yes.
When he couldn't just be like, yeah, I'll eat the smaller thing. Like, just a word to the wise, if there's any guys, or a word from the wise, I don't know. Any guys
you are
listening?
wise. You can be the wise. We're from Kelly the Wise.
I would never take note of how much a guy ate or didn't eat.
No.
And it would never impress me either way.
No.
So that's not... We don't need to use that to impress people.
No. What would you do if, okay, you were on a date with someone and you had a waitress who was flirting with the guy that you were on the date with?
Okay.
What would you do?
Is it a first date?
Sure. This was a first date and it was happening.
True.
Or he felt it was happening.
I don't think I would say anything. I think I would let it happen at first, and then as soon as she walked away, every time, like, I would be on the guy's team.
Okay.
I would be like, oh my God. Or I'd be like, okay.
You would play it cool.
Like, I'd kind of like hype him up a little bit because the guy can't control, or the person that you're with, they can't control what the waiter's saying.
That's true.
If they were giving it back, I'd be like,
story.
I think I would handle it differently, but I feel like I would try to keep it lighthearted at first and be like, oh, a little friendly, I see, or like something like that. Or be like, oh, I guess if I liked the guy, I would say something witty, like, oh, I guess there's two of us that have a crush on you, or like something like that.
Ooh, that's a good response.
No, I just thought of that. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I would definitely make a joke of it, but if he was like giving it back to her, I think I just wouldn't say anything unless it was like so blatantly rude to me.
100%.
And I would just really keep mental note and be like, that's fucking weird. Because if I was on a date with a guy and a male waiter was flirting with me, I would immediately turn to the guy and be like, that was a little weird. Or like, did you get that too? Or like, what the hell was that?
And be like, I'm not interested in whatever this person is like giving me.
Yeah. I would definitely make a joke of it, and like, because I just feel like if you can make a joke of something or let the other person know that you're thinking of it in a lighthearted way, that's just gonna make everything the least amount of awkward.
Yeah, trying to make the other person comfortable on a date is so big because everyone's nervous.
This is so funny. I was saying this to a guy that I was talking to or like kind of dating recently, but his stomach made like the most gross sound. And I literally was like, oh my God. And you know how sometimes when you're with someone and your stomach makes a sound, you like sometimes don't even know if it was you or them.
No. Yeah.
I was like, was that me? Because I knew it wasn't like anything embarrassing. Like, it was just like a stomach sound.
Yeah.
Like you cannot control it and you can't even feel it sometimes. Yeah. And he was like, no, I think that was me. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. And I kind of like said something that could have come off as rude, but I didn't mean it as rude. But I was like, I would be so embarrassed. I was like, if that sound came out of me and you heard it, I would be so embarrassed. But I was like, but since it's you, like I find absolutely nothing weird about this. No. And like I will never think about it again.
No.
And then I was like, wait, that was kind of rude. I just said that because I was like, I would never live it down if I did that. But since it was you, like there's absolutely nothing weird about it. But I actually meant that. And I was like, no, actually, if someone else had a bodily function going on that they couldn't control, and it wasn't just like they were gross, like if they had bad hygiene, that's not what I mean, but like if someone got sick
it's something and they had can't control.
Yeah, I would never think anything weird about it.
Yeah.
But if it happened to me, like I would never sleep again.
No. I feel like the earlier you can bring bodily functions into play, the easier your life is. The less,
that's so true.
I'm like lactose intolerant. My stomach is no bueno for anything with cheese. But guess what my favorite food is? Cheese.
Yeah.
So I'm always just like, I have stomach issues. And everyone's going to have to deal with the consequences of my choices / help me make better choices because I will always choose cheese over
I feel like saying that though, it's like you're so confident. You're like, this is just what's happening.
Yes.
And like, queen.
When I heard black bean soup on that, I was like, it has to be something with farts.
I know.
Something. I love that they dated though.
I know.
I wonder if he told her what had happened.
I seriously think if I was on a date with a guy and that happened to him, and if I liked the guy as a person, I actually would think nothing of that. And I would never, I might tell like my closest girlfriend, but I would not tell like guy friends. Like I wouldn't tell anyone. I really don't even think that's weird.
Or
it's
let
just,
them
like,
tell the story when they become comfortable with your friends.
Yeah, exactly. I would never bring it up again unless they were like over it. I just don't think I would think that's weird at all. Like you really can't control things like that that happen to you.
No.